Hi. So this exercise is selection sort in JavaScript using TDD, and it's going to feature test-driven development in Node, automatic code coverage, automatic linting using ESLint, chai expectations, the expects, const over var in JavaScript, and also destructuring. We'll be driving the development with Mocha tests, and there'll be some refactoring at the end. Let's get started. Okay, let's get set up. I'm going to share this setup between all of my exercises to make it a little bit easier. So let's get going. So I'm going to create a directory to work in, app. And you see our Explorer here is keeping up with us. This is VS Code. I'm going to go into that directory, and I'm going to use Node, so I'm going to create my package.json file. There it is. It's a simple template. And let's start installing the tools I'm going to use. And they're going to be dev tools. So first of all, for testing, Mocha and chai for expectations. And then ESLint and ESLint plugin Mocha, because I'm using Mocha. Alright, and then one final thing while I'm at it, I might as well install NYC for code coverage while I'm here. It's a successor to Istanbul. Okay, good. So that's the three of those. You can see our package.json file. It's got our dependencies. It doesn't do anything with our test command yet, so I need to fix that. But first of all, let's copy in this ESLint RC YAML file that I've got. And you can see here, there's a ton of rules. I love having loads of rules to guide me, in errors and warnings. So it's very, very handy. I love that. All right, that's the ESLint YAML file. And here's our scripts where we want to actually put in running tests. So let's put in the actual command we're going to use, which is going to be Mocha. We'll just use the top level, anything that's called star.test.js. Okay, so we should actually be pretty close to be able to run tests. Let's try to do it with npm test. And no files found, but no actual error. So let's go ahead. We'll use index because that's what the auto generation of the package.json used. And we'll put in our index.test.js, which is actually the file it'll recognize. Alright, so it's green. No test, but the framework's there. Alright, so let's put in the other pieces now. Let's put in the linting, which is going to be our pre-test, so it's going to run before the tests can even run, and that's going to be ESLint everything. And while we're here, let's put in our code coverage, and that's going to be the NYC npm run test. So that's close to all of the pieces we need. We can run our tests again to make sure that they work, and we can run code coverage to make sure that that works. And you can see that we didn't have any files again, but this is the expected output that we've got. So we've got our linting, our testing, our code coverage, our basic files set up here, NYC output for code coverage output. So we're pretty much ready to go. So now we can go ahead and create the actual app. Alright, so let's do selection sort. Alright, so let's create a couple of panes here and get our index and index.test.js files. And let's make sure we can run our tests even though they don't exist. Okay, and let's write one. Alright, so first thing we'll do is we'll set up our testing. So we're going to include chai expect for our expectations. And we're going to include the actual file, which is our selection sort file. And actually it's called index, of course. Let's change that. Okay. Index. Alright. And here's our actual index. Of course, we're going to do our exports for the function that we're creating, which we're going to call selection sort. So we can make that very simple just to pass the test. Something like return 1. Okay. And let's actually have a test. So describe our selection sort, what we're doing here. And that is going to have an example inside it of we'll just do number one, simplest thing we can do, unquote, to get us started. So we'll do that, and we will expect, if we call our function with, actually it's called selection here too, so there we go, view editor. So if we call it with 1, then that should equal 1. Simple as we can get. Let's try. Let's save that and run that. We've got some indent problems. I just changed my editor around and didn't reset to 2, so I'll fix that issue after this video. And let's see, that was missing. And here, let's see, oh yes, I think I'm on there, right. Ooh, what happened here? Index. Well, the file is called index, but took me a couple of seconds to spot this, that it's not. I have to refer to it relatively. So yeah, it's here and it's got the right name, but the problem, actually I'm going to be passing a parameter in, and passing it back. Let's see. Still hasn't fixed the problem, because the problem is with index is relative. That's what I was just saying. Okay. So fix that and save that, and now I've got a passing test. Great. All right. So now let's do our second test here. Now we know what the method signature and all that great stuff is. And for the second one, we'll do 2 numbers. It's pretty simple. So let's 2 numbers. Okay. So we'll pass in. Well, I know it's going to be an array now. It's going to be 1, 2. We won't even pass something that needs to be sorted. We just want to see if it can handle 2 numbers. It's the simplest thing we can do. So we'll pass in 1, 2 and expect to get back 1, 2. All right. So let's try running that. And that fails, although it looked the same, and that's because I want EQL to actually compare the values. Okay, so let's fix that. So that's 2 numbers being sorted. So now let's move to the next one. 3 numbers. So, and we'll actually mix them up this time. So we'll do 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, sorry. And we'll see if that actually sorts. Well, it wouldn't, so we expect to get a failure, right? We don't do anything yet. So let's try to just make that pass, and we know basically this is selection sort, it's the intent of it, so we go through all of the elements, and we compare each one with the one next to it. So from the beginning, from 0 to the end of the array, and we're actually going to copy our array into our array here, so that we're not mutating the parameter that comes in, because that's a bad thing. So now we do our little swap. Temp equals array of I equals array of I plus 1. And actually, this is if the next value is greater. So if array of I, this is not in order, so if array of I is greater than array of I plus 1, then lock. We do this. Okay. So we go temp equals array of I equals array of I plus 1, array of I plus 1 equals array of I. And we'll come back to this in a second. Maybe a better way to do this. Sorry, the temp. It's temp. Alright. That's fairly readable. Pass back the array, and here also the array. Alright, I think that might work. Oh, we just, let's see, not length, we're just copying the array. Sorry, the array in. Correct that. Yeah, okay. Good, 3 tests. Alright, let's go for 4. So, next one we're actually going to do reversed order. Fully reversed. So we're going to do 3, 2, 1. So, let's make this 3, 2, 1. And this should equal 1, 2, 3. Just like the last one. But it didn't. Because now, one pass through is not enough. We actually need to do a couple of passes through. So we're going to rename this to start off. Let's rename these eyes, which wasn't a good name anyway, to be inner. And I'm doing it one by one just to show you all the spots where it is. Instead of a global search and replace. Okay. So now we're going to do the outer loop. That's the form. You have 2 loops. And let's try just doing it like we did the inner loop. Starting from the beginning, go to the end. We know we're going to have the inner loop now only go up to the outer loop. Okay. And oops, our indenting issue just showed up, which I will fix, but for right now I can fix it manually. Okay. Alright. Let's try this. Okay. So it didn't work going from 0. So what if we go the other way? What if we go from the end, make sure it's greater than or equal to 0, and this time we'll decrement it. So let's try doing it that way. And see if that works. Sure enough, it did. Alright, so it seems to be working well. Let's jump up and do, let's say 6 numbers. So, I said reverse, but actually let's just do them in mixed order here. And that should be in order. So let's try that. Okay, that's good. Alright, and let's think about a much bigger one. Maybe let's do 12. And let's even throw in all the way up to 12, up to 10 with -1 and 0. Actually, I want these to be in the other order, so let me actually do the wrong order, and then to equal that right order there. Sorry, it's getting fiddly. Get that. Get rid of the end. Whoops. Space. Okay, so I want them to equal all of them to be in the right order. Something's still not right here. Oh, these are arrays, so I've got to make sure I've got my array open and close. It's hard to see with all those numbers. And fix that. Okay, I think we're good. No, let me get that right. That's got to be -1 there. Okay, alright, so they're all good. And what can we refactor? I think we can just actually go with greater than 0 here. Let's see if that works. Yes. And what else could we do? There's another way we can actually, with modern JavaScript, actually do this swap here. And we could do that. It's a little bit fiddly to write, especially with your editors trying to help you out here. We can do this assignment here. We can say array of inner, comma array of inner plus 1. Set that as an array that gets assigned to the values from array of inner plus 1 and array of inner. So that they get directly swapped without a temp variable being used in between. And it's a little bit fiddly with the brackets here. think this looks right. It's a little bit hard to tell. See, I still haven't got this quite right here. Well, let's get rid of these. I'm not going to be using these. Whoops. Okay. And it's still not quite right. Right, yeah, this is, that might be okay, so let's try that. And that passed. Okay. So there we go. Nice little swap there. And then we'll see if there's anything else. There's all of our tests. Looking pretty good. And I think we're done. Alright, thanks.